Randasya Kinangyana Salakaya Sakshur Militanyena Tasma Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvise Namaha. Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha. We're reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, and we are at Ādi-līlā, chapter 17, the pastimes of the Lord in his youth, and the purports are from Srila Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Prabhupada.
What text are you on, Didi?
This is text 56. When Sri Caitanya, after accepting the renounced order of life, went to Jagannath Puri and then came back to the village of Kuliya, upon his return, that sinful man took shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord, being merciful to him, gave him instructions for his benefit. That is what we read yesterday, the Gopala Chapala. You have committed an offense at the lotus feet of Śrīdhar Thakur, the Lord said. First you must go there and beg for his mercy, and then, if he gives you his blessings, and you do not commit such sins again, you will be freed from these reactions. Then the Brahmana, Gopala Chapala, went to Śrīdhar Thakur and took shelter of his lotus feet, and by Śrīdhar Thakur's mercy, he was freed from all sinful reaction. So you give your apologies to the Vaishnava that you have offended. So you go first. You can not only with the Lord or with your Guru asking for benediction or of clearance of the offense, you have to go to the person who you offended. Another Brahmana also came to see the kirtan performance, but the door was closed and he could not enter the hall. He returned home with an unhappy mind, but on the next day he met Lord Chaitanya on the bank of the Ganges and spoke to him. That Brahmana was expert in talking harshly and cursing others. Thus he broke his sacred threat and declared, I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly aggrieved me. The Brahmana cursed the Lord. You shall be bereft of all material happiness. When the Lord heard this, he felt great jubilation within himself.
What text
That is 50, that is 61.
61 of chapters 4.
And then goes to 62.
Chapter 6,
Chapter 17. The Brahmana cursed the Lord. You shall be bereft of all material happiness. When the Lord heard this, he felt great jubilation within himself. Any faithful person who hears of this Brahmana's cursing Lord Chaitanya is delivered from all Brahminical curses. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu blessed Mukunda Datta with punishment and in that way vanquished all his mental depression. Purport. Mukunda Datta was once forbidden to enter the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu because of his mixing with the Mayavadi impersonalists. When Lord Chaitanya manifested his Mahaprakash, he called all the devotees one after another and blessed them, while Mukunda Datta stood outside the door. The devotees informed the Lord that Mukunda Datta was waiting outside, but the Lord replied, I shall not soon be pleased with Mukunda Datta, for he explains devotional service among devotees. But then he goes to the Mayavadis to hear from them the Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana, which is full of Mayavadi philosophy. For this I am greatly displeased with him. Hearing the Lord speak in that way, Mukundadatta, standing outside, was exceedingly glad that the Lord would at some time be pleased with him, although he was not pleased at that moment. But when the Lord understood that Mukundadatta was going to give up the association of the Mayavadis for good, he was pleased, and he at once called to see Mukunda. Thus he delivered him from the association of the Mayavadis and gave him the association of pure devotees. Lord Chaitanya respected Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master. But Advaita Acharya Prabhu was greatly aggrieved by such behavior. Thus he whimsically began to explain the path of philosophical speculation, and the Lord, in his anger, seemingly disrespected him. At that time Advaita Acharya was greatly pleased. The Lord understood this, and he was somewhat ashamed, but he offered Advaita Acharya his benediction. Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. When Lord Chaitanya heard Lord Ramachandra's glories from his mouth, he immediately wrote on his forehead Ramdas, the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra. Once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of Śrīdhar after kirtan and drank water from his damaged iron pot. Then he bestowed his benediction upon all the devotees according to their desires. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaita Acharya. Once the Lord explained the glories of the holy name to the devotees, but some ordinary students who heard him fashioned their own interpretation. When a student interpreted the glories of the holy name as a prayer of exaggeration, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, greatly unhappy, immediately warned everyone not to see the student's face henceforward. Without even changing his garments, Lord Chaitanya with his companions took bath in the Ganges. There he explained the glories of devotional service. By following the path of speculative philosophical knowledge, fruitive activities or mystic yoga to control the senses, one cannot satisfy Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Unalloyed devotional love for Krishna is the only cause for the Lord's satisfaction. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, "My dear Uddhava, neither through Astanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system to control the senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through practice of austerities, nor through charity, nor through acceptance of sannyas, can one satisfy me as much as one who can develop deeply unalloyed devotional service unto me." Lord Chaitanya then praised Murari Gupta, saying, "You have satisfied Lord Krishna." Hearing this, Murari Gupta quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. "Since I am but a poor, sinful Brahma Bandhu, not Brahminically qualified, although born in a Brahmana family, and you, Lord Krishna, are the shelter of the goddess of fortune, it is simply wonderful, my dear Lord Krishna, that you have embraced me with your arms. One day the Lord performed Sankirtan with all his devotees, and when they were greatly fatigued, they sat down. The Lord then sowed a mango seed in the yard, and immediately the seed fructified into a tree and began to grow. As people looked on, the tree became fully grown, with fruits that fully ripened. Thus everyone was struck with wonder. The Lord immediately picked about 200 fruits, and after washing them, he offered them to Krishna to eat. The fruits were all red and yellow, with no seed inside and no skin outside, and eating one fruit would immediately fill a man's belly. Seeing the quality of the mangoes, the Lord was greatly satisfied, and thus after eating first, he fed all the other devotees. The fruits had no seeds or skins. They were full of nectarian juice and were so sweet that a man would be fully satisfied by eating only one. In this way, fruits grew on the tree every day throughout the 12 months of the year, and the Vaishnavas used to eat them to the Lord's great satisfaction. These are confidential pastimes of the son of Sachi. Other than devotees, no one knows of this incident. In this way, the Lord performed Sankirtan every day, and at the end of Sankirtan, there was a mango-eating festival every day for 12 months. Once, while Caitanya-Mahaprabhu was performing kirtan, clouds assembled in the sky, and the Lord, by his own will, immediately stopped them from pouring rain. One day, the Lord ordered Srivas Thakur to read the Brihad Sahara Nama, the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, for he wanted to hear them at that time. As he read the 1,000 names of the Lord, in due course of the holy name of Lord Nishinga appeared. When Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard the holy name of Lord Nishinga, he became fully absorbed in the thought. In the mood of Lord Nishingadev, Lord Chaitanya ran through the city streets, club in hand, ready to kill all the atheists. Seeing him appearing very fierce in the ecstasy of Lord Nishinga, people ran from the street and fled here and there, afraid of his anger. On another day, a great devotee of Lord Shiva, chanting the Lord Shiva's qualities, came to Lord Chaitanya's house, where he began dancing in the courtyard and playing his damaru, a musical instrument. Then Lord Chaitanya, adopting the mood of Lord Shiva, got on the man's shoulders, and thus they danced together for a long time. On another day, a mendicant came to beg alms from the Lord's house, but when he saw the Lord dancing, he also began to dance. He danced with the Lord because he was favored by love of Krishna. Thus he flowed in the mellowness of love of Godhead. Okay, I stop here for today. Jai, Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai. Ādi-līlā chapter 17, Pastimes of the Lord in his youth ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Swāmī Maharaj. Jai Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada. Jai Srila Gurudev. Then we're reading from In the Light of Loving Devotion, from talks from Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Goswami Maharaj. Chapter 12. The Strategy of Our Search. Mahaprabhu Samādhi. As much connection as we get with the Lord, so much our hankering for Him will be intensified. We will feel, oh, He is so good, so beautiful, so captivating, so charming. Such will be the sign or symptom of the soul's development and proximity to the Lord. And the opposite, to think that I have got him, that will be like dreaming. We will think it to be an abnormal position or condition. In Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, in the talks between Chaitanya Mahāprabhu and Ramananda Roy, we find this verse. Whenever I had the chance to see Lord Krishna's face and his flute, even in a dream, two enemies would appear before me. They were pleasure and Cupid, and since they took away my mind, I was not able to see the face of Krishna to the full satisfaction of my eyes. So if you think you have something, that is not a good sign. We always bereft. We always thinking we have nothing. We need the mercy. Please come to me, my Lord. Also, when we chant, actually, that is to have association with the Lord. That is the Lord in His holy name. That is meeting the Lord, actually. And to feel like that is good. That is good. To feel, I'm now meeting the Lord. I'm going to chant, I'm meeting the Lord. In that concept, that is good. Mahāprabhu thought, when I got him in a dream, that was not normal. I was in an abnormal position. He came and united with me. That seems to me to be like a dream. This is a peculiar thing. When there is meeting, there is union. With the Lord, there is for the time being a wonderful experience of satisfaction. But that is not permanent. So Mahāprabhu says that meeting was like a dream. But in the ocean of viraha, separation from the Lord, though apparently one is always hankering, unsatisfied, while others are enjoying with the Lord, still, when one is observing this from a distance, this position, second position, can be more permanent, and that gives greater satisfaction. This was Mahaprabhu's experience in his dream. Afterwards, he is describing to the devotees how in his transcendental condition, Samādhi, he was in Govardhan, and there are the gopis and Krishna, and he is seeing how the gopis are arranging, devising in different ways for Krishna's service, and what is their mood and how they are going to be united with him. Mahaprabhu said, I was seeing all this with great pleasure. When I saw all these arrangements for the gopis' union with Krishna, I felt I was swimming in the innermost and purest type of pleasure. He felt himself to be not in direct connection with Krishna, but was observing from outside as an onlooker, from one step further behind, and that had permanence and gave him the fullest satisfaction. Then Mahāprabhu told the devotees, oh, the beauty of their movements, the gopis' movements, the sweet sound of their ornaments, how beautiful it is, I was seeing. At that time, you all took me away from there to this material world by chanting the name of Krishna, by that kolahal, the noise of the sound of the name of Krishna. You drew my attention to this plane of affliction. You have made me disappointed. You have taken me away from that happy connection. In his Samādhi, as in a dream state, Mahāprabhu had this experience of Krishna-līlā. Can we only imagine how that would be? Mahāprabhu thinking of Krishna-līlā, of Krishna and the gopis and Radharani. Such a high state. So when he heard then the sounds of the holy name singing by the devotees, he said, it's kolohal, it's like noise. I want to, don't wake me up in that dream. And also, something was mentioned that, like, we are the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Even that in the backward, going backward, seemingly, but that is very high. It gives more pressure, more pressure. We serve the devotees, the servants, the devotees, and in that way, there is no loss of satisfaction or happiness there. That's for us very, very wonderful to do. Secret of success. In this way, the soul's deeper experience of the Lord is indirect. It is like a telescopic system. If something is very, very far and we want to see it directly, we cannot. It is only by seeing through many lenses, which have some apparent gap, some distance between them, and which stand between ourselves and that of which we are looking, that we can have some idea about it. Or it is like the sun. We can see him from a particular distance, but if we want to see him from nearer, we will be destroyed. Approaching towards him, we will be finished on the way. So we will adjust ourselves in this way, always to look from behind the Guru and the Vaishnava. And with this strategy, we can have some experience about the Lord. This is the principle of service life. Tat dasa 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 nudasa aham dehi. I am to serve, the servant of the servant of the Lord, and not to approach him directly. The ideal of the followers of Mahāprabhu is Radha Dashan, submission to the greatest seer, Radharani, always behind her, or in other rasas, behind Krishna, behind him, or behind her. From that position, we are to have his sight. That is Yoga Kamasu Kaushalyam, the strategy, the trade secret, the secret of success. It is the testing point to guide us. Okay, one more paragraph. Krishna, stealer of the hearts. Krishna is everywhere, but we cannot see him. Everything is in him, and he is everywhere, but we cannot see him. He is lost to us, a peculiar thing, but really, he is the existence of all existence. He is maintaining all existence, and he is behind. He is the foundation of all existence. And sometimes the Lord likes to play hide and seek with the devotees. Sometimes he comes clear, and sometimes he is fake. Whenever he is fake, the devotees begin to cry, "Where are you, my Lord? I don't feel you. I cannot see you. How can I continue my life? How can I live without you? You are so charming, so joyous, so fulfilling, that I cannot live without your connection." But because Krishna is a thief, we have hope. Navanita Chora. Chora means thief. Krishna is Chora. Chora, always stealing. To steal everything is his habit, his nature, his very existence, although also may be conceived in this way. Because a thief comes and goes stealthily, his activity is always undercover, although everything is from Krishna. Everything is his belonging, right? Everything is his, but still he likes to do it in a hidden way, because more fun, more juice. Our nature is such that we have erected within us many boundary walls, so that none can enter and even God cannot enter. But because Krishna is a thief, he comes uninvited, enters our heart and captures it. And that is our advantage. We may put up thousands of barriers to obstruct any entry, but the thief manages all these difficulties, these obstructions, oppositions, and still comes. As conditioned souls, our position is such that we are accustomed to have so many barriers in us to protect our exploitation, so that nothing shall disturb our exploitation business of different types. Means enjoyment. That's why we're here, right? Jai. And so many barriers are there in us for renunciation, to protect that also. But he does not care for all these blockades. He comes and captures our heart. So it is our solace that he is a thief, otherwise we have no hope. All the barriers we have erected within us to guard us, they are our samskaras, gross and subtle, and they are the superstition of separatism. The knowledge and conception of separate interest from the Lord. But only because Krishna is a thief, he does not care for any of these various barriers. He will come anyhow and steal our heart. Wow, that's our fortune for everyone. At a certain point.
So thief in that is different to what we might think of a thief.
Oh yeah.
But he's stealing our hearts and
exactly.
It's lovely, yes.
Everything that we can think of Krishna being naughty or thief or stealing butter or killing, it's because he is the absolute. He's the absolute supreme Lord. It is all good.
It's all good, yes.
So he is an autocrat. An autocrat, like he is the maker of all the laws and rules, and there is also some reaction for us for that, but he is very sweet.
Of course. Yes.
So if we can see it, the rust on the iron, there's iron, right? And then sometimes through the years, there comes rust on the iron.
Yes.
So we have to clear our rust on the iron.
To get through, yeah.
That the heart comes more clean and more open, and it was also mentioned the samskaras. You know what is samskara? Samskara is that through lifetimes we have covered the heart with some prejudices, with some habits, with some opinions, and that covering the heart. And in our practicing life, in our sadhana, in our chanting, in our seeing the Lord, praying to the Lord, hearing about Mahāprabhu's pastimes, hearing about Krishna's pastimes, that is Līlā, then gradually the heart gets cleaned and we feel more enthusiasm and feel more fulfillment in this line of taking to Krishna consciousness, because outside the whole world is taking another road. But we have to be strong because we have we don't have to search anymore. We have come now to the truth of our existence, of the environment, and the truth of God, of the Lord God, who is the Krishna, who is the Lord of love.
Thank you.
Anata. Do you want to sing Hari Adaya?
Yes.
Please. Jai, in the Lord of loving devotion, Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Jai Srila Gurudev. 60, yeah.
Hari-Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Adaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Srimati Sudhana. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasha Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasha Raghunatha. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana. Jaha Hoite Vignana Savishta Purana. Jaha Hoite Vignana Savishta Purana. Echai Gosai Jara Muri Taradasha. Echai Gosai Jara Muri Taradasha. Dasa Parapada Renu Mora Panchagrasa. Dasa Parapada Renu Mora Panchagrasa. Tadara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Basha. Janame Janame Moroe Abhilasha. Janame Janame Moroe Abhilasha. Echai Gosai Jabe Braja Kole Basha. Echai Gosai Jabe Braja Kole Basha. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakasha. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakasha. Ananda Bolo Hari Braja Vindavana. Ananda Bolo Hari Braja Vindavana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Bhajaye Mana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Bhajaye Mana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriyasha. Harinam Sankirtana Kohu Narottama Dasha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol.
Jai Om Krishna Patsila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Swāmī Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai Om Krishna Patsila Bhakti Sila Dev Swāmī Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Sri Rupanuga Gurvaka ki Jai. Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Krishna Patsila Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. Caitanya-caritāmṛta Sri Acharya Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta London chapter ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to the world devotees ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Bol.